everyone, Lane here from Acres Lane. So I have this really nice 3-tiered deck off the back of my house. I've been meaning to get to it for a while. When we first moved in, I had to throw all my patio furniture away. It got destroyed, and I wanted to do something special with this 3-tiered deck, doing 3 different sections. The first thing I wanted to do was build some built-in seating behind me. So it'll just be 12 by 6 foot seating with maybe like a planter box behind it, and then I'm hoping to get the seats to open up so that I can store any cushions or anything that I don't want to get weathered underneath for extra storage. So that's what I want to do right now. I have some plans for some other stuff to do. I want to put like one of those Firestone pits up here with the built-ins, and then I want to build myself a patio set to the custom size to fit this. And then right now I have a jacuzzi tub over there. I want to get rid of that and then put a hibachi grill up there, but then build a bar around it. So this series will be called Deck Projects. But for right now, let's get started on the built-in. I got a rough idea of what I want as far as material goes. I'm sure I'll have to pick up some. So let's go to the hardware store, pick up some lumber and some other equipment to get this project done. All right, here's my list. I think I ended up getting everything. Deck boards, 2x6s, 2x4s, I basically got everything. So I got deck screws and hinges. I think that's it. First thing I'm going to do is frame out the bottom. It's basically going to be 2 rectangles, a small rectangle there and a large rectangle here. Once I build the rectangular boxes that you'll be sitting on, I can then start building the back angles, and then finally I'll finish it off with the top piece. But first I'm just going to build the frame, and then I'll worry about putting the deck boards on. Okay, so now that I have the basic frame done, I can start working on the back part. So I want to be able to, when I sit down on here, I want to be able to lean back. I want the back to be angled, I don't want it to be straight up and down. So I'm going to cut 2x4s along here, probably right on top of these, and put them at like a 15-degree angle. So that's what I'm going to do next, is get all those pieces cut and put up here. All right. think we'll call this a day. I got the benches framed up and the back support. So the reason I didn't put one in those 4 locations, I'm gonna put 3 flower pots along here and along the back there. I'm gonna call it a day. Okay, new day. First thing I'm gonna do is put a board across the backside here to link all these loose ones up. Then I am going to go ahead and start putting the boards. I got 2x6s for the backside just to match this railing back here. So the whole backside will just have 2x6s on it. Once I'm done with that, I think I'm done with all the framing. There's gonna be some little pieces here and there that I have to add. Like I'm gonna have to add some slats here to strengthen the bench. And then these 2 are gonna have the flip up hinges so that I can store stuff underneath. So framing wise, I think this is most of the frame built, other than a couple pieces up top here. So yeah, let's knock this out then. Well, I ran out of 2x6s for this part. I'll have to either go and get some more 2x6s or just use deck boards. Since this is the back side of my house, you're not going to really be able to notice, and there's only going to be a slight difference between the thicknesses of this and the deck boards. So it depends on how many deck boards I have left. If I don't have any, then obviously I'll have to go get 2x6s. Now that we have all these boards done, I think it's time to start laying the boards, the deck boards on the back side. I'm gonna do those first. So I wanna start with these back deck boards, mainly because this is gonna be the most complicated angle here. So when I cut these deck boards on these back side, I'm gonna have to cut them at a 15 degree angle horizontally, and then also a 45-degree angle that way. So it's gonna be a pretty complicated miter cut, but hopefully they line up pretty well and I don't run into any issues.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands, strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law, hope they won't shoot me down soon.
I got these 2 backs done. I'm gonna work on the bottom section, getting all that framed up on the outside. The only angle I should have to cut in these are a 45 at the end. Everything else should be just a straight cut.
hope you find me. I'll be back home soon. When the sunrise, when the sun.
Alright, well, got one done. Now I need that one and that one. I guess the bench part's done. Now I can move on to the top and the sides. Alright, so I'm going to move on to this back here first. I wanted to put planter boxes in all three of these things, so 1, 2, 3. And I can't figure out like how I'm going to attach it because I got this 15-degree angle. Like, I can't figure out how I'm going to attach it. Like, I thought maybe putting like a 2x4 and like using that as a frame, but I really couldn't figure it out. I was going to put 3 different boxes here and then one over here on the back side of that. And I was going to make them out of the cedar, this guy right here. But I kind of changed my idea and instead I made this guy. So it's basically like a trough. So on my table saw, I screwed up a little there, but you won't be able to see it. So I took, and on my table saw, I cut a 15-degree angle twice in this. So that way these are angled out like this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this trough and set it up in here and then screw down from the top. And then once I'm done with that, I'll put a 2x4 brace in there to hold up the bottom. And then I can just put the deck boards basically right over top. I'm gonna have to put a little side piece here and here, and then I'll probably put end caps in each one of these things just to separate them off. But that'll be pretty easy. So that's what we're gonna work on now, is getting this trough mounted up inside of here. Alright, so I went to Home Depot to finish this backside off here. I gotta put a couple uprights in here, and then I gotta finish this off so that I can put the planter box in there and form it in. So I had to go to Home Depot to get some more 2x6s so that I can finish this back off. So the next time you see it, it should look like, there we go, all done. Now I can work on putting the planter box up there. So we have the same situation here that we did over there. So I gotta fit something inside of here. So I went ahead and already made up one of these guys to go inside. So we're gonna put her same way we did before, and then we can finish this top part, and then we can start working on finishing up these sides here. All right, so before I can get all of this framed in, I first have to finish this half to here. So that's gonna look like, so there we go, we have that side done. Now we can work fully on this side. right, so now it's time to work on these end pieces. So I'm gonna start on this side first, and then I'm gonna move over there. Okay, so here we go. Here's this side all done. Now that this is done, we just need to do that side and we should be done with the build part of it. The only thing after that is all these edges. So you can see this one, I left it rough. So I want all of them to look like this. And then so the same thing on this side too. So I'm gonna take my router and just route basically everything on here, and then go back and sand any of the rough edges. And I'll probably actually go as far as to take all these screw holes, put some wood putty in them. You can see I kind of started wood putty in that edge there. Let's finish building though, and then once we're done with that, yeah. All right, so now that this side's done, I basically have 3 things I need to do before I can put paint on here. I have to route, sand, putty, and then sand again. And then it's ready for paint. All right guys, so I finally finished sanding all of it. It took a long time and a lot more wood putty than I was anticipating. It should be ready to go as far as prep work for painting. I laid plastic down for all the areas I didn't want to get paint on, and then I got my paint sprayer, and I'm just gonna spray it with a paint sprayer instead of rolling it on. That should be it for this project. Let it dry for 24 hours. So now the last thing to do is add some finishing details. So we're gonna take and add some of these. They're called arborvitaes. They are a shrub. They can actually grow up to be 7 feet tall, which is clearly too big of a shrub for this area. As long as you cut them back, you'll be fine. So basically the project's done now. We're just gonna add some soil and some plants to the planter boxes. It's just gonna add to the whole aesthetic. Alright guys, well, it's all done. I couldn't be more happy with how it turned out. The ability to store things underneath, I think, is going to be a huge benefit, especially come, winter time. We can throw all these pillows underneath and we don't have to worry about, storing them in the garage and then getting them back out. The wife absolutely loved the planter boxes in the back of here. They worked out perfectly. They'll add a nice bit of greenery around here. We strung up some lights so we can be out here at night. It's the only part I have done on the back portion of the deck, so I'm super eager to finish the rest of it. The next thing I'm probably going to work on is going to be a fire table to sit here. If you guys have any questions or comments on how I built it or something I could improve on next time, leave a comment down below. If you liked it, leave that thumbs up. And of course, if you want to see the rest of the videos in this series, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell button so that you can see when I release the next video. Until next time, guys, I'm Lane from Maker's Lane. You guys have a good one.